Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking at a deeply fascinating psychological dynamic, the quiet, grounded power of true self-assurance versus the incredibly exhausting habit of over-explaining ourselves. You know the one? That habit that leads to winning imaginary arguments in the shower? Yeah, that's the one. It's a behavioral pattern almost all of us fall into. But as we unpack the source material today, you're going to see exactly why pulling back might actually be your absolute greatest asset. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever noticed this specific feeling? You make a decision, someone casually questions it, and instantly, almost like a reflex, you feel the immediate urge to defend and justify your choices. It's like you suddenly have to prove your point and convince them that you're right. It's a highly relatable personal experience, isn't it? We've all been there. You make a choice and then immediately feel this burning need to prove its validity to whoever happens to be in the room. But why do we actually do this?
Section 1. The urge to explain. The unconscious trap of seeking approval.
Right off the bat, there's a stark contrast when it comes to confidence. Insecure people often feel the need to constantly justify every single decision they make, while strong, deeply confident people rarely spend their time explaining themselves. By establishing these two opposing psychological habits right away, we can really start to see that over-explaining isn't just about communication. It's fundamentally about how we view ourselves.
And here's why that difference matters so much. When you're constantly explaining yourself, you're unconsciously signaling a dangerous need for approval. And why does the source actually call it dangerous? Well, because depending on approval directly puts your own self-worth into someone else's hands. It literally means your confidence is entirely reliant on whether or not the other person nods, smiles, and agrees with your choices. Basically, you're handing over the keys to your own peace of mind.
Section 2. The psychology of doubt. Why over-explaining actually works against you.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how human beings psychologically associate certainty with authority. But excessive justification, that creates the immediate impression of doubt. It's a strange paradox of human behavior. The more you try to explain, the more you look like you don't even believe your own decision. Instead of projecting strength and clarity, your brain is signaling to others that you're unsure and that you're somehow seeking their permission to proceed.
Truly confident people operate on a completely different frequency. They just don't feel the need to win every argument, and they absolutely do not need every single person to agree with them. They can simply look someone in the eye and say, "This is my decision," and then just move forward. They understand that not everyone requires, or frankly deserves, a lengthy explanation for the paths they choose.
Section 3. The wasted energy. The hard truth about being misunderstood.
Over-explaining, over-defending, over-justifying. Be honest, are you carrying these habits right now? If you are, you know exactly how exhausting and energy draining they are. It is such a heavy, draining burden to constantly feel like you're on trial for your own life choices, tirelessly repeating these 3 cycles day in and day out. And here's the really sharp reality we all have to face, especially as we get older. If someone has already decided not to understand you, no amount of explanation will ever change their mind. The source material points out that we often waste massive amounts of energy trying to convince people who were never genuinely interested in understanding us in the first place. I mean, no matter how perfectly you lay out your logic, they just aren't listening. It's a lost cause right from the start.
Section 4. The mind shift. Trusting your own judgment and reclaiming your power. And this brilliantly illustrates how we need to fundamentally reframe our thinking. An explanation should simply be a tool to provide clarity, not a method to seek validation. Look, if you're explaining something just to make sure a colleague or a partner is logistically on the same page, that's perfectly fine. But the very moment you start chasing validation through your explanations, you give away your personal power. You absolutely have to separate sharing information from seeking approval.
So the crucial point is, how do you actually reclaim that power? Let's walk through 3 incredibly liberating truths. First, not every decision requires public approval. Second, not every goal requires an audience. And third, not every action requires permission. Just let those sink in for a second. Embracing these points is incredibly freeing, because true power comes directly from trusting your own judgment. You don't need a cheering section to know you're making the right choice for your own life.
This all builds to an ultimate mindset shift. You really have a choice. You can spend your energy defending your future, or you can spend your energy building it. The profound truth is that people are going to judge you whether you neatly explain yourself to them or not. Since that external judgment is going to happen either way, you must make a conscious choice about exactly where your finite, precious energy goes.
This is exactly why successful people so often move quietly.
They deeply understand a fundamental truth. Results speak louder than explanations ever will. You do not need to convince everyone of your vision. You just need to go out and execute it. Action completely overrides any verbal justification you could possibly offer. When the results are standing right there, well, no further explanation is needed.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, really powerful and lingering thought directly from the source. The strongest statement is often made without saying a word. If this truth connects with you today, don't ignore it. Learning when to stay silent can be just as powerful, if not more so, than learning what to say. So the next time you feel that quick reflex to over-explain, just pause, take a breath. Thanks for exploring this fascinating dynamic with me. I challenge you to let your results do the talking today. Because seriously, what could you achieve if you took all the energy you currently spend justifying yourself and use it entirely to build?